Give me a countdown and hit go.
Let's go.
Hi, I'm going to talk to you about Braille. Basic uses are obvious, but the how to do it is the topic for the day. With a little bit of history, how it began, Louis Braille was born in 1809 and at age 3 had a serious accident in which he lost his sight. His parents were very helpful in his education and pushed him. He was very intelligent. He went to college in Paris and he met a Charles de Fleur who was an army captain, and he had invented a process by which the soldiers could communicate secretly by using textured bumps on paper that only they knew what they meant. So if the messages or the soldiers were captured, then no one would know what they meant because it was a secret code. So Charles and Louis became really good friends at college, and Charles shared this with Louis, who just thrived on it, and he studied it for 3 years after college and invented his own little system, which is what we know as today as the Braille code. It's used by 70% or better of all visually impaired people, and these are United States figures based on the Hadley School for the Blind records. There are about 5.5 million visually impaired persons in the United States at this time. So you can figure 70% of all of that. That is a lot of people using this, plus teachers and family members who correspond with the visually impaired. So, and that's what I learned it for. I was a teacher. And so we're going to talk about how it is done. I have a sample here. This is a basic Braille book, which just looks like another book until you open it up. You can't see it, but there are bumps all over. And each letter is about the size of my little pinky fingernail, and it's a series of dots. Each Braille cell can contain up to 6 dots. And this is a large vision of what they look like. This is a Braille cell. This would be the raised dot. That's the letter A. Here's an E. Here's an F, so forth. Here's an O, P. There are also punctuations, a comma, a question mark, an exclamation point, a hyphen. There are also there's a shorthand version of Braille where the most commonly used words in sentence structures have their own symbol. So the letter the, or the word the, looks like this. So if you're going quicker and you're reading and you don't want to read T-H-E, they have one for the, and it's basically Braille shorthand. There's groups of letters that are commonly used too, like ED, ING, and ER is in a lot of words. The word for, there's ing, I-N-G. So you get the general idea of it. Now the trick to typing Braille is, this is a little hard to grasp, but here's your dots, like this. But when you type it, you take this cell, you split it in half and turn it like this. So these are the keys, because every Braille machine has only 3 keys. So for that contraction, you'd use these 2 and these 2, not this one. So your Braille cell here, you split it apart, flatten it out, and that's how you type it. These keys are for the paper, like a return button on a regular typewriter. This is to put your paper in, and this is the space button. This is a standard Perkins Brailler. This is the most common, it's the most inexpensive, it's heavy, but it's very similar in appearance and use as an old-fashioned typewriter like we used to use. So there are other means to do Braille, and according to the dotlessbraille.org, they have a list of them. There is a manual Brailler, which is called a slate with a stylus, and a slate is a piece of plastic opens up like this, put your paper in here, close it down, then you take a stylus, which is like a little pin or a poker without ink, you poke the Braille, but you're poking this way, so when you take your paper out, it's upside down. So you have to Braille it backwards and upside down, which is more twisting in your mind, but once you get the hang of it, it flows just like regular typing. There are also computer programs now where you can sit at a regular keyboard into the program. There's one called a Perky Duck, is the most common for children anyhow, and hit print, and it'll print right out in an embosser, which actually types Braille. So basically that is it in a nutshell. And the best thing about Braille is that it can return to the visually impaired persons their sense of independence, which is worth a lot. So thank you for listening.